Can you believe it? WrestleMania 41 is almost here, just a week away. And at this point, all of the matches have been announced and locked in. We know the cards for both nights. So let's do some final predictions. Who do I think is going to definitively win each match? I'm Brandon, and this is Wrestling Talk. Let's get right into it. Starting off with the match that's slated to open WrestleMania Night 1, Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title. It's Jey Uso. Obviously. Part of the reason so much criticism has been levied towards this feud is because it's so predictable. Especially since, again, this match just happened at Saturday night's main event and he lost it, so why would he lose it again? It doesn't make any sense. Jey is obviously going to win. It's going to kind of set the tone for WrestleMania. I would put all the confidence points in the world on it. Moving on. Next up is Jade Cargill versus Naomi. This is another case where it's obvious it's going to be Jade. A lot of people online are saying Naomi, and I get it, I respect it. But it reminds me of Edge versus Demon Finn Balor at WrestleMania 39, where fans really wanted Finn Balor to get a win, but when you think about the story that's being told, it would make no sense for him to win. He was the villain in that story. He kicked Edge out of Judgment Day, hit his wife on the head with a chair, and then went into WrestleMania as the demon. It would not have made any narrative sense for him to win the rubber match of that feud and basically walk out going, haha, I beat you, alright, moving on. The same thing goes for this match. After pushing Jade onto the hood of a car, injuring her for months, then going on to take her spot with Bianca in the tag titles, if she loses this match, which is really the end of this feud, it wouldn't really feel narratively fulfilling. And also, this is Jade Cargill's first ever WrestleMania singles match. There's no way she's losing. I think WWE potentially wants Jade Cargill to have another Bianca Belair undefeated WrestleMania streak, so you can't have her lose here. But I don't think it's going to bury Naomi. After WrestleMania is over and the draft happens, both of these two should be separated onto different shows, and that will allow both of them to flourish. Jade Cargill is definitely going to go after some world titles. I fully expect her versus Charlotte Flair to happen at some point this year. And to be honest, Naomi should win a world title too. The women's division needs some big heels, and honestly, given the work that Naomi's doing right now with her heel gimmick, she deserves to walk into WrestleMania 42 holding the WWE women's title. But in this case, Jade's gonna win. Easy. You can't wrap up this story of Naomi taking months off of Jade's career with Naomi then beating Jade at WrestleMania. It doesn't make sense. Next up is the War Raiders versus the New Day for the World Tag Team Championships? Yes, the world ones, not the WWE ones. This is pretty obvious to me. It's gonna be New Day. War Raiders don't have any hype behind them, no momentum. They're just really good match guys. They really don't even have like on-screen characters. I think whether it's due to cheating or interference or whatever, New Day's gonna walk out with the tag titles. Ever since that awesome segment they did with Big E, WWE has not capitalized on that, and I think this is the moment where they have to. Otherwise, that segment in all of its glory was for nothing. This is honestly a must-win for New Day. They need to win those titles. They need to kind of bring back some momentum to the Raw tag division. I don't think this match deserves to be on the WrestleMania card, though. I think it feels more like a Raw after Mania match, but nevertheless, New Day for the win. Next up, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I gotta be honest, I'm not feeling this story at all. This El Grande Americano stuff is not working for me. I'm probably not the target audience because it feels like it's directed towards 5-year-olds, so as long as they're enjoying it, I guess whatever. But in terms of who's gonna win, I think it's just gonna be Rey. I suppose there's a little bit of a chance that it could be Chad Gable just because he just started this El Grande Americano thing, but then I think about who this feud is for and the target audience, which again, I think skews younger. I think WWE just wants this to be a very simple, feel-good moment for everyone in the audience. Legendary, all-time favorite Rey Mysterio gets the win over this Grande Americano guy who we hate, and that's that. So I'm gonna go Rey for the win. Next up, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the US title. My heart says Jacob Fatu, my brain's telling me LA Knight. He just won it back from Shinsuke not too long ago. It wouldn't make sense for him to lose it again, much less in a feud where he's basically the third wheel. All of the drama in this story is between Jacob and Solo. LA Knight is just there. So if he loses it here, it really wouldn't do him any favors. He'd probably fall way down the card. And Jacob Fatu doesn't need this win. To be honest, he doesn't need to be winning any mid-card titles. He's pretty much already at that main event level. Whether it's Solo turning heel on Jacob or just accidentally costing him the victory, I think Jacob's gonna lose and then go into a Jacob versus Solo program, and then LA Knight can continue to defend the US title against people like Rey Fenix and Aleister Black. It just makes sense. So LA Knight for the win. Moving on to the big one, Charlotte Flair versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. I've been saying this for months now. Charlotte's gonna win. When you look at the WrestleMania card, there's a lot of opportunity for feel-good moments. Jay beating Gunther, Jade beating Naomi. There needs to be at least one moment on WrestleMania Night 1 that just bums the crowd out entirely, and it's gonna be Charlotte beating Tiffany. I'm not speaking for myself though, I personally can't wait for Charlotte to win. It just makes sense though. Charlotte came back from the Rumble and hasn't done much since. If Tiffany beats her, she doesn't really gain a whole lot from it, but if Charlotte loses to Tiffany, this current iteration of Charlotte Flair loses pretty much everything. All of her aura gone. It's like Tiffany said in one of her promos. If she loses to Charlotte, she loses to the 14-time women's champion, future Hall of Famer. But if Charlotte loses to Tiffany, she loses to the 20-something rookie who only won the title from a cash-in. And trust me, WWE does not want that to happen. Charlotte's gonna beat Tiffany, proving that she's not yet at her level, and then Tiffany is gonna have to work her way up to earn a title shot and beat Charlotte the right way. No cash-in, no cheating, just pinning Charlotte 1, 2, 3. That's how I see this going, long-term storytelling. So Charlotte for the win. And now we get to the main event. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins in a custody of Paul Heyman triple threat. There's one person that's definitely not going to win this, and it's Roman Reigns. He doesn't need it. He's not going to be around directly after the match anyway. And to be honest, if he wins, that's the least exciting option. For this match, it's either Punk or Seth. Who's going to be the next Paul Heyman guy? And honestly, I think it's going to be Seth. If Heyman betrays Roman in the match and then sides with Punk and then walks out with Punk, it's very nostalgic, it's very cool, but it's also been there, done that. CM Punk at this point in his career is not really going to benefit all that much from Paul Heyman, but Seth Rollins absolutely would. Seth and Paul working together is a dynamic I never thought we'd see. It's exciting, it's different, it really shakes up the main event scene in WWE. I think the reason this match is main eventing is because something huge is going to happen, and I think that something huge is going to be Heyman leaving with Seth. And also, when you think about it, Punk has been destroying Seth this entire feud. Eliminated him from the Rumble, eliminated him from the Chamber, beat him on the Raw Netflix premiere. So if Punk beats Roman and Seth here, big deal. But if Seth finally gets a win over Punk, that's huge. Moving on to night 2. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Man, what a tough one. Who's gonna win? Liv and Raquel, who have been teaming up for months, or Bayley and Lyra, who have been randomly thrown together because WWE doesn't know what to do with either of them? I wonder. I hate that this match is happening. Don't get me wrong, I love that all 4 women have a spot on the card, and I love that the women's tag team titles are being defended at Mania, but it just feels so thrown together. Would WWE ever do this for the men's division? At WrestleMania, the War Raiders will defend the tag team titles against Braun Breaker and Penta. No, they wouldn't. Double standards, folks, let me tell you. But either way, Liv and Raquel are gonna win, and I want them to win. I think they're gonna have a great title reign. And then after, you can do Bayley versus Lyra in like a true one-on-one program for the IC title. But having your women's IC champion not defend her title at WrestleMania when her male counterpart is, and then the women's US champion isn't even on Mania at all, I don't like it. I just don't. Alright, next up, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre has to win this, like has to. Damian Priest cashed in on him at WrestleMania 40 due to CM Punk, he beat him at Clash at the Castle due to CM Punk, and he beat him at Money in the Bank due to CM Punk. So at this point, Drew needs to get his lick back. It would make no narrative sense for him to lose here, and after the feud, both of them can go on to bigger and better things. If WWE wants Drew to be a major player this year and potentially take the world title off of Cody or Cena, he needs to win this match. Next up, Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio for the IC title. Finn Balor is definitely taking the pin here, and Braun Breaker is not going to walk out as champion. It's going to be Penta or Dom. Either Dom accidentally costs Finn the win and then Penta capitalizes on it for a feel-good moment, or Dom costs Finn the win and capitalizes on it by pinning him and becoming the IC champion. From a story perspective, I really want it to be Dom. I think that's the most exciting option. but realistically, it's going to be Penta. WWE clearly sees a lot of potential in him. They want to make him a big star, and Dom Mysterio is already a big star in his own way. So while I want it to be Dom, I think it's going to be Penta. That way you protect Braun by not pinning him, and then Dom and Finn can go off to have a one-on-one feud without the title. Next up, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. For the longest time, I thought AJ was going to win this to remind the world who AJ Styles is and shut Logan Paul up. But there's the Karrion Kross factor. He's being the devil on AJ's shoulder, constantly poking the bear, telling him how important it is that he wins the match, which makes me think he's not gonna. Realistically, he doesn't need this win. Logan Paul probably needs it more, because let's face it, if Logan wins here, he has more of a leg to stand on when he inevitably challenges Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight title, whether that match is at Backlash or King and Queen of the Ring or wherever. So because of all that, I think Logan Paul's gonna win. Next up is the Randy Orton match, whatever it may be. If it ends up being Aleister Black, which it probably won't, Aleister Black would win, because it's his big return match. But if it's Solo Sikoa, Carmelo Hayes, or even Nick Aldis, Randy's gonna win. I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna be a twofer. I think Solo's gonna come out and Randy is going to make very quick work of him. That way Solo technically gets a WrestleMania match, Randy gets a win, and then I think Nick Aldis is gonna take off his suit and face Randy Orton, and they're gonna have a little 10-minute match. Randy's gonna win, but Nick Aldis is gonna win his respect. Yeah. Moving on to the big two. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Bianca Belair for the women's world title. If there's one person that's not going to win this match, it's Rhea Ripley. Because regardless of how crowds have been reacting, she's the heel in this situation. She lost the title to Io Sky and basically complained her way into the match. That is her whole victory in this story. Just being in the match at all. From a narrative standpoint, it makes no sense for her to politic her way into the match and then walk out with the victory. Because from a character perspective, she learns nothing. So it really comes down to Io Sky or Bianca Belair. And I'm telling you now, it's gonna be Bianca Belair. Because of two reasons. One, Io Sky is very much the third wheel in this feud. I love Io Sky, I think she's great, but if she wins this match because Rhea and Bianca are just so hyper-focused on each other that they cancel each other out and she escapes with a victory, that doesn't make her look that good. And let's be honest, like Rhea Ripley, she just had a major title reign. It lasted from SummerSlam to WrestleMania, so it's not exactly a fresh start if she wins. Bianca Belair hasn't had a singles title reign since 2023, so her winning is the freshest option. But reason number two, Bianca Belair has the undefeated WrestleMania streak, and more importantly, they haven't brought that up at all in this feud. And the reason for it is because they don't want fans thinking about it. Because she's not gonna lose. You would have thought in one of the promos she'd really lean into the streak thing. I'm not afraid of you, Rhea, because I have the undefeated WrestleMania streak. But they haven't done that. Because it's not a factor in this storyline. She's gonna win. Mark my words, Bianca Belair is going to win this year, and then going into whatever the title match is next year, whether it's Bianca versus Rhea or Bianca versus Jade, then the storyline is going to be who can beat Bianca Belair's streak. But this time around, no, she's not going to lose her streak, especially in a triple threat where she doesn't even need to be pinned. And moving on to the main event, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Undisputed title. Say it with me now, John Cena. John Cena is going to win. Absolutely. If Cody Rhodes wins, that's honestly really boring. He just had a year-long title reign. We don't need to see that again. Whereas John Cena winning is infinitely more exciting. You're gonna get a plethora of big matches like Cena versus Punk, Cena versus Orton, Cena versus AJ Styles. And if we're being honest, during this whole feud, Cody has destroyed John Cena. They had two promo segments where Cody spoke and John Cena just walked off. And then during their one promo battle, it was pretty much just neck and neck, but it ended with Cena on the ground. So if you're looking at the go-home math, Cena is obviously gonna win. But that's it. Those are my final predictions for WrestleMania 41. I'm locking them in. But what do you think? Comment below with all of your predictions for all of the matches. So enjoy the show, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.